I can hear it now. You as an agent, I don't want to work with first-time home buyers. It's too much work. If I sell this bigger, more expensive property, it's the same amount of work and I get more money. I want you to stop right there. You're costing yourselves 6 figures in future income by ignoring first-time home buyers. This is absolutely the truth. I live by it. I still work with first-time home buyers after selling close to 500 homes. And this is something that you need to consider before you utter, I'm just going to work with the luxury division, or I'm just going to work with sellers, or all the things. Buyers are the key to your success. First-time home buyers are the key to your long-term wealth in real estate. What's up, guys? I'm Jeremy Kane with the Real Estate Agent Playbook. This is the single most important piece of my business and how I continue to scale my business using repeat and referral strategies organically, not paying for leads, and still actively producing as a top producing agent at the top brokerage that closes the most amount of transactions in the world. So let's talk about this right here, right now. Talk strategies like this all the time. This one's going to be a little more emotional because I care so deeply about the first-time home buyers and helping young people or old people get into their home and start their real estate wealth building journey. So let's get into it. First and foremost, why don't you drop a comment about what your biggest struggle is working with first-time home buyers, or what it's been. I'd love to converse with you. I'd love to help you through that problem because it's only a couple problems. Once you do it one time, it's like riding a bike. Why? Why do we do this, right? Helping a first-time home buyer is literally future gold. You're padding your bank account for many years to come. If that first-time home buyer has a great experience, likely they work with a bunch of people who will be first-time home buyers in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So you need to make that experience as great as possible. Even if it's annoying that you can only show houses at rush hour or whatever, do it, right? Because the referrals that come from first-time home buyers are key, right? A lot of people enter the world eyes wide open. Sometimes they have a friend that's a real estate agent, not so much anymore. I used to know everybody used to know 7 realtors. Now they know about 3 to 4. So it's a lot easier to stand out. But if you provide that amazing opportunity and they're raving about their experience, then that person's like, oh, well, this person works in real estate half time. I need to call Jeremy. I need to have that experience because I want it. I recently had a group of first-time homebuyers. We were closing in the kitchen of their house, which was kind of cool. And something they said to me was, this was so easy, right? Every fear that we had, we literally did not buy a house because we were scared of the process and we had heard the nightmares. This was easy. You and your team handled everything. The lending team handled what they had to do. The inspection was easy. We negotiated. We got what we wanted. We got a good deal. And now we're closing, and we started talking 45 days ago, right? It was so easy. This is what is huge, because then their next was like, we're going to tell everybody we know exactly how easy it was because you did such a great job for us. Boom, instant referrals. That'll be 3 to 4 referrals a year. And as we go, we repeat that step. And then by the time we've 5 to 10 referrals have closed from that client, they're going to be ready to move up. They're going to call me. I'm going to sell their house. They're going to become a buyer as well. So if you think about this as it goes, how does it look, right? And as we've seen a market shift from 3 to 5 years ago, it was buyers had to get out there. We had to show a ton of properties, submit multiple offers. Now it's different, right? As people shifted away from the buyers because it was too much work. Nothing is too much work for how much we get paid. I'll tell you that right now. But if we shift away from that and we're looking at it like, okay, now it's a little bit different. Now inventory's rising. Now people are begging for buyers back, right? And we kind of abandoned that pipeline and we needed to keep it going. You keep that going and those first-time home buyers are always coming, right? Right now, move-up sellers are not a great market because they have low interest rates and all the things, but these first-time home buyers are still coming. They're still coming out of the woodwork. They're still believing in, home ownership. They may not even know that the interest rates used to be 3%. Now they're 7%, but this is a huge piece of it, right? So in a tight market, buyers, especially with the higher interest rates, don't need the perfect home. They need the most strategic home. So if we're talking to buyers, how are we looking at this? We're focusing on affordability. A key to affordability is not just the mortgage payment, but it's what are the systems? What's the furnace look like? What's the roof look like? What's the sewer line look like? What are these high dollar, usually 5-figure improvements going to, when are they coming? Because if it's first time home buyer, they're maxed out on their mortgage payment, we need to make sure that some of those other things are good to go. If you have brand new furnace, brand new roof, warranties on everything, all the things, then yes, maxing out that budget is important. Still have an emergency fund, new things break too. But that's where the affordability really comes in. The affordability doesn't come from the, fancy gray tile or the color of the year being all over the walls or anything like that. Painting's cheap if you have a paintbrush. So that's huge, and understand what your client's skill sets are and understand that. So now we need to move to, okay, homeownership is important for these people. Let's talk about these objections that we're seeing. Rates are too high. Well, what's that mean? What's a too high of a rate? Because they're going to say, well, 7 or 8. Well, we're not at 7 or 8 even currently in our market. However, I don't think I've had anyone pay over 6.5 or 6.99 or whatever that looks like, right? And so you can understand, you can talk about the raising inventory, the amount of seller concessions that are being, secured by buyers who are looking to buy down the rate, explain what that looks like. We should wait. What does waiting really solve? The market's still going to be there, right? The cost of delay is going to, come into play. Yes, rates are better. Here come all the buyers. Yes, rates are higher. Then inventory's rising, less buyers in the market, so you have more opportunity to negotiate. There's no reason, if you're ready, to sit around and throw 100% interest at your rental, pay someone else's mortgage when you could be paying your own, if the stars align and you can find that affordability factor. There's nothing that we like. Well, if there's nothing you like, guess what? Is there something you can move into and make it what you like over time? Can you make those improvements? Because if there's nothing that you like, typically there's room for, sweat equity to be built in that home. And so as we go, and we're talking about this as an investment, yes, this is not your forever home, it's your starter home. And so if there's improvements to be made that maybe you have skill sets or a family member that has those skill sets that can do the labor for cheaper, let's talk about that. If there's not a family member or somebody that that can do the labor, then let's talk about budgeting for it. Let's make a plan, because if you don't love it now, you can make it, work if it's livable and affordable, and you can make it so that you do love it. Once you do love it and it's time to move on, will it look better for the rest of the market? Likely, unless you like hot pink walls and things like that. But we'll talk about that as we go in our annual reviews that we do. If you're interested in learning more about my annual review process, put annual review below, and I'd be happy to help you understand exactly what I do to retain these buyers for lifelong clients as we go. So then here we are. We got them off the fence. We're ready to go. We've handled the objections. And now it's about winning offers, right? The winning offer isn't always the highest price, although right now in our market with sellers, with concessions and all the things, high price does help a ton. But let's talk about this. Let's understand, let's educate what it looks like as an inspection waiver, right? I always have an inspection objection. Those things that, are agreed to on the resolution that maybe fell off the objection. Let's talk about that. Let's remind them that yes, that, plug needs to be grounded, or the GFCIs or, need to be installed. Let's remind our clients of those things that were left behind so that they know. Give them a honey-do list a couple weeks in after and say, hey, I hope your house is doing great. I wanted to remind you of these inspection items that didn't quite get to the list or on the objection or the resolution, but here they are just so you have them. Check out YouTube, call my guys if you need, at this number if you need anything. So another way to hand out referrals and make that something that's pretty special and powerful, and a touch point that's really helpful, because once they've moved in and they're all in there, sometimes they forget. Sometimes those gutters just don't get cleaned out. Sometimes that, grading doesn't change that the inspector noted. There's like throw a little dirt here and whatever. So to build that to-do list is an absolutely powerful piece of retaining the relationship with these buyers after closing. And then as we go, we're going to write some offers. We're going to educate our buyers, our sellers, the listing agents as we go. We're going to put this stuff out there, and we're going to continue to win through communication. We're going to build relationships with that other agent, because ultimately if we're not winning offers, it's our fault typically, right? If we're, throwing lowball offers and all that, but if we're not winning offers, I've won offers, below list price when they had at list price. I've won not the highest valued offer because I communicated. I told the story of the contract. We got to be careful with equal housing and all of that, but telling the story of your client is, pretty basic. Hey, it's a young family. They're looking to grow here. They're looking to stay here a long time. Hey, it's a young family getting their first house. They want to turn this into, an investment launchpad. All those things. Tell the truth. Tell the story. Right? Pay attention as an agent when you're touring the home, what this home has seen, right? Is there little kids' beds? Is there things like that you can talk about? Is there, congruencies with your client to them and their story and where they're at, not, anything other than, their story and their story. And as you can grow this, you can build that relationship, build that rapport, so that sometimes you can win an offer when maybe you're not the highest, but maybe you're doing something with property as a means of living in it as a primary residence that the cash offer isn't, right? And so you can utilize these things to, give your clients an advantage to win the offer. And then first-time homebuyers aren't so bad to work with because you're getting them under contract, right? And then the excitement comes. They're appreciative, more appreciative than anybody else that you work with, right? They're happy, they're excited, they're nervous, but they know that they have you in their corner. And that's where, the heart to serve really gets fulfilled in this industry, is when you hand those keys to that first-time homebuyer, as many of you know. So helping entry buyers can lead to a legacy. It can lead to better business for you. It can lead to more referrals as you go. Again, they're surrounded by a bunch of people, typically as a startup, starting their careers, a bunch of people that need your services. So those referrals come. But then as you go, right, if they have an amazing experience, you help them out, you make them, avoid some landmines, get through some problems that might have occurred in the house. If they move into a house and there's a hailstorm 6 months later, you want to explain to them what's going on and why it sounds like the hail's still knocking on their door, because there's 40 roofers in their neighborhood trying to get their deductible that day, right? Talk to them about that. Be there, be that resource, so that when things happen that they don't know, because then when it's time to sell, you're going to be their resource again. You're going to be their first-time home seller agent, which the next video that I'm going to put out next week on this is exactly about helping first-time home sellers. But this is it. If you're interested in learning more, my client journey is available to free for everyone who partners with me. I also do consultations and coaching. So if you're interested in that, book a call below, Realtor Gameplan Call, or if you're interested in joining the record-breaking group, the Wolfpack DXP, RE Agent Wolfpack. We'll see you next time, and I can't wait to chat with you and build this legacy of your business right here, right now. Go get a win today. Bye-bye.